So we're going to be a little informal tonight, but wanted to welcome you all here for the Town of Babylon Democratic Committee Spring Fundraiser 2023. My name is Rich Schaefer. I'm the town supervisor, and wanted to welcome you and thank you. Jersey just informed me that we have broken another record, raising the most money we've ever raised in all of our years of doing this. Over $300,000. That is going to go toward not only this year's campaigns, but future years' campaigns. So we're really grateful to all of you and those who couldn't be here tonight, who may be taking a look at this on Facebook. We're greatly appreciative of all of you coming out tonight to make this a very successful event. And how about a round of applause for Jersey and Kelly and Kathy. We have some great interns who are working on our behalf. Give them all a round of applause. Eric and Patrick. And that's really what it's all about, putting together a great team, because this year we've got some very important elections coming up in November, and I'm going to get to that in a second, but I wanted to first recognize some of the people who are in the room who joined us. We have some elected officials who have joined us here tonight. I want to recognize Mike O'Neill, who's a village trustee in the village of Amityville. Also joining him is Dennis Seary, our mayor from the village of Amityville. Where's Dennis? Oh, there he is. Also wanted to recognize a good friend who came all the way from the North Shore. I didn't know they knew where the South Shore was, up on the North Shore. But I got to tell you, he has been a great colleague, a professional colleague, as a fellow town supervisor. I've known him for a number of years, even prior to him becoming a town supervisor in the town of Smithtown, and I'm really glad he came tonight. Our good friend, Supervisor Ed Wareheim, who's here. And he brought his trusty council member, who has also been a great help to us. In fact, we've worked collaboratively with the town of Smithtown on a number of issues. Most importantly, you all know I've spoken about the Gino Mascio Foundation, which is near and dear to my heart, helping those who are in recovery and on a sober path. And Councilman Tom Lohman, who's the head of their Public Safety Committee for the town board, is also here. Thank you, Tom, for joining us as well. I also bring greetings from Mayor Mary Adams, who wanted to be here tonight, but had other engagements, and Babylon Village is an important part of the town of Babylon. Mayor Adams was just re-elected recently, a couple of weeks ago, so give her and the village board a round of applause. And representing the village board, I don't know where he is, but Trustee Dominic Bensavenga, here's Trustee Bensavenga, who is with us here tonight. And Dominic's been a good friend over the many years. Now as a trustee, Dominic probably single-handedly helped thousands of families who were devastated by Superstorm Sandy by setting up a Babylon Helps organization out of Babylon Village, and he was a trusted partner in helping us get people recovered from the devastation of Superstorm Sandy. So thank you, Dominic, for being here tonight. Also want to recognize our good friend, former County Executive Patrick Halpin, who is here. And I know that all of us would agree that when I introduce this next group, of people, everyone says Democrat and conservative. How does that mesh? Well, it meshes when you're rational thinkers. It meshes when you want to approach things from an intelligent, rational, professional standpoint. And by that I mean when you want to take a look at what local government is supposed to do, which is to provide public safety, great parks, roads, low-cost town government, And the Conservative Party in the town of Babylon has been our partners in that effort and in that venture for many years. I've been honored to run as the Conservative Party candidate in several town elections since I've been back in 2012 and even prior to that when I was here, my first tour of duty. But I can tell you that the Conservative Party members who are here tonight, and Tom Montiglio, who's our town chair, is not here tonight. He's recovering from an operation. He's all well. In fact, he had the operation yesterday. He thought he was going to be here tonight. Everybody kind of convinced him that wasn't the best thing. But I want to ask you to give a round of applause to Tom Montiglio, our town Conservative chair. And representing him is Tom Gargiulo, who's our vice chair of the town of Babylon Conservative Party. And I got to tell you, all of the Conservative Party members work hand in hand with us because they understand that what it's really all about is there's time for politics, and then the most important time is the time for governing, and to make sure that you are addressing all of the quality of life issues that affect us here in the town of Babylon, in Suffolk County. That's the best way to run the government. I can't think of better partners to have than the town of Babylon Conservative Party. So thank you very much for being here tonight. So now why we're here tonight is to honor and celebrate our town elected officials. And like I said, we've got an election coming up in a couple of months. This is our year, the off year, the local year. And we have two individuals who are running in competitive races. We have one individual who's part of our team who everybody thought was doing a great job. So I'm going to bring her up first. And if you can believe it, it's the tax receiver who they think is doing a great job. And the tax receiver usually takes all of the brunt of people's upsetment with paying taxes. But if there's anybody who should be the tax receiver, it is a young professional businesswoman who has successfully created and operated a small business in our town for many years. I've known her for a very long time. I won't give the number of years, but I can tell you that for the first time, there are people who are paying their taxes who now tell us that they're thrilled to pay their taxes because they don't have to leave their car. She set up a drive-through, just like Dunkin' Donuts, and in fact, she gives out great candy when the people come and pay their taxes. Like you go into the dentist, you get a lollipop at the end. So I can't tell you what a pleasure it is to have her working with us. She's got the endorsement of the Conservative Party, of the Republican Party, and we're excited that she'll be serving another 4 years as our tax receiver. Jen Montiglio. And by the way, let me just give a plug because, you know, we work very closely with the Babylon Breast Cancer Coalition and Shannon's foundation, Jean Marie, and her parents. And Jen wanted me to make sure she let you know that for the first time since COVID, she is going to be doing her runway show out at Overlook Beach on June 9th. And that's a fundraiser that is going to be able to raise money for those organizations. And it's a great time because she gets some News 12 celebrities. I don't know, does News 12 still exist? Or?
Erin's there.
She's
our host.
Erin Colton is, Altice seems to be dismantling it. But Erin Colton will be there and a number of other people, local celebrities will be there. So if you can, June 9th at Overlook Beach, it's a great night. Come out, and that's the type of public official she is. Thank you, Jen Montiglio, for doing what you do. Stay in. So running with Jen this year is our two town board members. And why that's important is because the town board is the governing body setting policy, and it's important to have people like-mindedness who are committed to public service, working on behalf of everybody, no matter what their affiliation is. And we are lucky to have these two individuals. One, we were lucky to get him to come over from the county legislature. He served as a legislator. He served as deputy presiding officer, and he now had served as the presiding officer. In fact, he was the first black legislator to be the presiding officer of the county legislature. And his service is certainly not done. We're lucky to have him here. He's an Army veteran. He's an Army veteran who has spent his time on the town board as the chair of the Veterans Services Committee, working on behalf of all veterans in the town of Babylon. And I want to give you a highlight of something that's happening a little bit later on this year in October. And those of you who were around in 1995 remember that we had brought the Vietnam Wall here, the wall that heals, it's called. It's a replica, and by replica I mean it takes up a couple of baseball fields, replica of the Vietnam Wall. And he has gotten that together with Charlie Spencer from Boyd Spencer Funeral Home, and it's going to be something you don't want to miss because it was really, really eye-opening, really emotional, and it gives people from all over a lot of opportunity to come and recognize those who they lost, and also just people who wanted to celebrate our freedom and democracy and what it's all about. And being the 50th year of the end of the Vietnam War, Dwayne Gregory knew that this was appropriate to do. So I want to bring up our councilman, Dwayne Gregory. And running with them is someone who has been on the town board for about 4 minutes. He's sort of the young guy on the town board, but he has made his mark. I've known him since he was probably about 5 or 6 years old. Met his family when I was working for Sandra Backety and helped his family with an insurance problem that they were having for his older brother. And got to know the McSweeneys after that. His father was a fire chief in North Babylon. His mom is very active in the community. And when I came back in 2012, I bumped into mom and dad, and there was a guy standing next to them. I didn't know who it was. I was confused. And they introduced me to little Terry, who is now Big Terry. And Big Terry is now Little Terry. And Terry is a member of the FDNY. He's a volunteer firefighter with North Babylon. He's the chair of our public safety committee. He does a tremendous job juggling his family, his 2 daughters. He is at every civic meeting, knocking on doors, getting out to the community, and working, of course, with all of the public safety entities, law enforcement. He helped us spearhead getting Jerry Gigante. I think Jerry's in the room tonight. Jerry Gigante, the former chief of detectives of the Suffolk Police Department, who now heads up our public safety department. Give Jerry and his team, Matt Lewis and Kevin Kane, Pat Farrell, and Andrew Chaka. And we have gotten together one of the most robust public safety departments that has been seen in any town. In fact, Ed will like and Tom will like this, but we sent Jerry up to Smithtown so that we could model our public safety department after what they were doing. There you go, in the town of Smithtown. And why that's important is because, let me make the point, and I'll make it very clear, and it will be made several times over. We as Democrats in this town are old school Democrats. By that I mean that we are concerned about public safety. We are concerned about making sure that everybody receives fair and equal representation through our public safety department, and that everybody is treated the same in our public safety department. You don't have to go out and have all sorts of battles like you see going on all across the country, because we recognize that all 220,000 residents in our town deserve the same type of services, deserve to live in a safe community, and it's our obligation to do just that as town elected officials. And if it's going to be something that gets bogged down in whatever else is going on all across the state or the country, we're going to make sure that we take care of our business here, and that everybody, no matter where they live, no matter how old they are, no matter what street they live on in our town, they're going to receive the same type of service that they deserve, that they pay taxes for, and they're going to be able to live in a safe community. So that's Terry's mantra, and I want to bring up Councilman Terry McSweeney as well. So before I bring up the other town officials, I can't believe they let her out of Albany. You know, Albany is on, I think, day 87 of not having a budget. And I got to feel bad for her because when I convinced her to run for the state assembly several years ago, I told her that she would like it and it would be enjoyable. I didn't realize how crazy it was going to get. And it's unfortunate, but hopefully someone will display some leadership there. But in the meantime, we're lucky to have her here tonight. And I wanted to bring her up because she's been an important part. She's worked for us in the town, being part of the team. And now she has been a godsend to us as a leader in Albany. She's now the chairwoman of the Assembly Veterans Committee, which is very important because she can do a lot ushering legislation through the state assembly and the state legislature, which she has already been working on. And I want you to give a big round of applause to our good friend, Assemblywoman Kimberly Jean-Pierre, who's here. And her counterpart, who's not here, who I don't know if she's still on the thruway. She may have left a little bit later today. But she was elected last year. We're lucky now to have her as our state senator. She represents about 3/4 of Babylon Town in the state senate. And the name may sound familiar to you. It's Senator Monica Martinez. So give her a round of applause as well. So let me introduce some of the other officials who are not on the ballot this year but are very important to our team. And you all know her because she used to be my assistant for years. She did an outstanding job when the town clerk's position opened up. We all couldn't think of a better person to step into that position because it's got so many important things going on, and she's taken the office to the next level of instituting evening hours so that residents who work can access services there. Her staff has been tremendous in working on behalf of residents who require special assistance, bilingual assistance. She has turned the office into a full, multifaceted service center, and we're grateful to have her as our leader and good friend, our town clerk, Jerry Compitello. And the other two town board members are happy because they're not running this year, but they were reelected last year. And they were reelected again because they were, in 2021, they were reelected again because of the work that they've done over the years. And this individual, who again I've known for a very long time, started getting involved in town government when he was in high school, showing up at town board meetings. And from there, we've kept in touch over the years, and he's a small business person in his own right, very successful, has chaired our small business committee. In fact, he and our other town board member created the Small Business Direct Support Program, which delivered close to $8 million of our $27 million in ARPA. So understand, we took a third of our ARPA money, created a grant program that helped small businesses and not-for-profits who had lost revenue or had expenses they didn't expect during COVID, and made sure that they could get replenished up to $50,000. And when Anthony and Tony came to us, it was a no-brainer. We all agreed immediately. In fact, we got help from Kim and our other state representatives, handing checks to people with tears in their eyes. I can pay their back rent. I'm not going to have to close my doors. I can make sure I pay my suppliers. I don't have to declare bankruptcy. And we know small business is the backbone of our community. We're a middle-class, blue-collar town that relies on main streets, which is why we pay so much attention and focus to small businesses all across our town. And that program was a lifesaver. And it was a lifesaver for not-for-profit organizations as well, that we were able to get money into their hands, because when the federal government approved ARPA, American Rescue Plan Act, they said, town, we know you know how to best figure out how to get this money to do the most with it. And so when that money came to us, we knew that it had to get out into the hands of business people and not-for-profit leaders. So Anthony Mineta, great job as our councilman, chairman of our Small Business Committee. And our final town official is somebody who, again, I said before, I couldn't think of anybody else I'd rather be in the foxhole with. When the battle is on, he is the guy who you want next to you, because he's not only going to be loyal, but he's going to make sure that the job gets done. And time after time since 2012, and I mean, I knew him before that, but I never worked as closely as I've worked with him over these last 12 years. And he's been an elected town board member in his own right. He's been the deputy supervisor, serving side by side. And I call him our GC, our general contractor, because his carpenter experience comes in very handy with what all the projects that we have had to do over the years. And you take a look at any of the parks, you take a look at the brand new building over at Great Neck in Albany, which houses our civil service department and our brand new quality of life court. All of that has fallen under his purview, and he has handled every project with professionalism, efficiency, and has always been on top of everything that needs to get done. He's a great friend. In fact, he and I are at our health and wellness program together now, right? Give a round of applause to Tony Martinez, our deputy supervisor and councilman. And I mentioned him earlier. He just came in. He's got the shades on, right? Got the shades on. And I told you, it's Dwayne spent years in the legislature, and there was somebody who was right beside him as his chief of staff and as the clerk of the legislature. And this young man has proven himself to be an outstanding leader, not just on the big things, but most importantly on the small things. And by small, I mean he takes time out to mentor individual students, individuals in the community. No problem is too small to get his attention, and that's what a really effective, good public servant county legislator is. Jason Richburg, the minority leader of the county legislature. And so I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Last week, or a week and a half ago, we spoke at the county dinner. And after this election, Jason is going to be the presiding officer of the Suffolk County Legislature. When we take back the legislature, and why we're going to take back the legislature, not only because we have great candidates that are running all across Suffolk County, and of course, Jason's running. Tom Donnelly is running. I don't know if Tom's here tonight. I know he had another event. He was going to try and get down here. But give Tom Donnelly a round of applause as well. But Tom and Jason are running with an outstanding candidate at the top of our ticket. And I wanted to bring him up for a couple of minutes. But let me just tell you a little bit about this individual, because you're going to start hearing a lot about him. It's an open county executives race this year. County Executive Balone is term limited, and so we'll be having two brand new candidates. And I don't think there could be any clearer depiction of what the election is going to be all about. And as we're at 2023, we've just come out of COVID, probably the worst thing that any of us have experienced in our generational lifetime. We've seen public displays of upsetment with crisis taking place all across our country in 2020. And most importantly, we now need somebody who's going to be able to lead us into the future. And he told me when he asked about running for county executive and wanted the support of the Democratic Party, he said, and I asked him, why do you want to run for Suffolk County Executive? And he said, because I want to help move Suffolk forward. I want to make sure that Suffolk is not stagnant. I'm going to take my business experience, my government experience, my leadership skills, and put them to work to make sure that we can move Suffolk forward. Suffolk County has experienced a lot of issues over the past 3 or 4 years because of COVID, because of all of the things that have gone on that we have witnessed. And when you're looking for someone to pick up the mantle and run with it, you're going to want somebody who's young, vibrant, experienced, someone who understands real life issues and problems and understands how to approach it from a business perspective to make sure that the job gets done. And so his slogan is moving Suffolk forward, and we're excited to run with him with that slogan because we know that he is the best candidate to be our next county executive, our good friend Dave Colon. Go get him.
Thanks so much. Thank you very much, Rich. How about a round of applause for the supervisor, the chairman, Rich Schaefer. It's great to be with you. It is great to be with you with so many friends here in Babylon here tonight. My name is Dave Colon, and yes, I'm the Democratic nominee for county executive, but I'm proud to be a Rich Schaefer Democrat. My background, I'm a former federal prosecutor, state prosecutor. I'm a business person. I've helped create jobs here on Long Island and around the country. And I think what Rich said earlier rings true. The issues affecting our region, the issues affecting our county, are not ones about left or right. It's about how do we solve the problems of everyday people. It's about how do we move, as you said, Suffolk forward. It's focusing on the things that matter most to all of our families: safety, opportunity, affordability. And I am honored to be leading this Democratic ticket because we have a tremendous group of candidates here. You've met many of them, you know many of them, and I will tell you this. It's not just here in Babylon. We've built a tremendous ticket from one end of this county to another. And I used to live in Babylon, so I have a particular affinity for being here. And I now live up.
I did the closing.
Yes, that's right. My lawyer, he's good. He charges reasonably. But what we have put together across the county is really important. And we're this here in Babylon, you are the base. You are the anchor. And we drive off of Babylon, and we're excited. We have a lot of young people involved in the campaign. Thank you to you guys for being here and being part of this. Because they are the future. Our kids are the future. I have 3 young kids, and I want them to be here, be able to survive here and thrive here, and be able to come back here if they want to grow here. We need to create a Suffolk County that focuses on their future and all our kids' future. And so I'm excited to have built this team, again, not just here in Babel, but all through our 10 towns. We're building the organization. We're raising a lot of money, and thanks to many of the people in this room for helping us do that.
And again, I get back to there's no Republican or Democratic way of doing that, but I think this team has acquitted itself very well with the support of all of you, with our town workforce, our blue-collar workers under Local 237, our white-collar under CSCA, our administrative staff, our part-time, our seasonal, and our lifeguards all together working on behalf of you to keep Babylon safe. Say it. Safe, strong, and resilient. And we're going to make sure that that message is delivered because we want to keep making Babylon safe, strong, and resilient. Thank you very much. Have a good night tonight. So I'm Rich Schaefer, the Babylon Town Supervisor, and we're just finishing up a great fundraiser that we had a lot of support, including from members of the Turkish American Center that is housed here in Amityville in the town of Babylon. And we have a great relationship with the center. We've worked with them through COVID. A lot of their members helped us get supplies to residents of the town of Babylon during COVID. We also were able to reach out through them to Turkish American small business owners who were able to access our grant program that helped put dollars into their pockets in order to help them with rent and other expenses that they weren't able to keep up with because of the loss of revenue during COVID shutdown. So we have a great working relationship with them, and many of them are small business owners in our town. They contribute greatly to our property tax base, and we turn to them when we're looking for opinions about how to do things in the town of Babylon by involving them in the decision-making process. The other thing that we've been working with them on is, of course, the earthquake in Turkey and the thousands who were killed as a result of the earthquake. And we feel very strongly that whenever anyone of our brothers or sisters are in need and have experienced a natural disaster like the earthquake, they were here for us during Superstorm Sandy. They were here for us during the COVID pandemic, and we need to be there for them. So we're working closely with them to raise funds to help various municipalities and cities in Turkey recover from that devastating earthquake.